Hello everyone! We're back with the final Mario Kart Deluxe tier list of the Boost Course Pass. Wave 6 came out last night, 1 in the morning, I played it, and then this morning I did all the Grand Prix and stuff for it. Tried all the characters, and I'll give my thoughts of the wave overall before we get into ranking the tracks themselves. So first we have the characters. Of course, we have 8 overall. I don't know if I talk about the characters in videos, but I like them all. You know, it's just cool to have them. And I got my fan favorite picks in waves 4 and 5. I got Birdo, I got Wiggler. So I was completely okay with anything we get in wave 6. We actually ended up with 4 characters, not 2. Diddy Kong was one I thought was a must, and then I thought anybody else could take the final picks. I don't think it mattered because the roster was complete once I had Diddy Kong, because he was the only missing character who had been in multiple games in the past, and he literally had his own racing game series. So he should probably be here, and he's finally here. It's 9 years overdue, but we got him. We got Diddy Kong. Of course, we got Funky Kong and Pauline. Which I like their trick animations. Like Funky Kong brings his surfboard out sometimes. And Pauline probably talks more than any other character in like Mario Kart history. She just talks normally half the time. She sings in like several trick animations and like when she wins and stuff. Like pretty cool. Pretty cool character. Also the bike suit's cool. Also, I don't know if this is a new thing or I've only realized it with her and Peach Chat. But they have like unique trick animations when they're on bikes where like they'll put their legs to the side of the bike, and obviously that's not possible with a car. Both of them do it. I don't know if that's... I don't know if the other like princess characters have that, but yeah, I think that's neat. They did good with the trick animations and whatnot. Peach Chat, really surprised me, just as a pick in general. She doesn't make sense as a pick, especially when like Nabbit is in the same game as her, and Nabbit's also in the new 2D Mario game. That would have probably made more sense. But also, I'd like a Peach Chat. You know, it's the cooler Peach, and she's fucking adorable. She is so adorable, with her like trick animations and voice lines and stuff. So I like her, and I'll probably use her more than like Funky Kong and Pauline. I mean, I don't reflect her voice much anyway, but regardless, I like playing as Peach. I like playing as Cat Peach. It's just another cool version of Peach that we didn't need, but I will take it. And I might even play her more than I'll play Diddy Kong. I did really like her. I cannot lie. Then there's the Mii suits, which I haven't actually tried yet, but I've seen them. They each have like a unique trick animation, which I was surprised by. I didn't know that was a thing, getting like unique trick animations for each one. I think I only get the one, and they're all pretty funny. They like fit in with like whatever the suit theme is. Although the Moo Moo Cow one, your Mii just like shakes his ass, or her ass, or their ass. I don't fucking know. Whatever your Mii creature is, they will shake their ass. I don't know why, and it's not even an animation tour. So they went out of their way to make sure that the Mii's can do the rump shaker. I don't know why. Is that a cow thing? I guess they were like shaking their tail, but the suit doesn't have a tail. So it's a bit that was a bit questionable. But the others are cool. I just like having the Mii suit options without having to use a fucking amiibo, because I'm not doing that. Amiibos are stupid. And these are cool. I like how many are focused on like enemies or characters who can't be like playable races, like a Gumba. There's some that I'm missing out though in Tordo. Like I feel like they could have thrown like Spike. I think Spike had one, or the Monty Mole. Yeah, because I mean, there's a regular Monty Mole that's playable at Tor, so I feel like should have given him the Mii suit. Regardless, the selection's pretty cool, and it's something they didn't have to do, but I'm glad they did it, because I'll play as the Miis now, actually. Um, which I'll probably use that more than like Funky Kong and whatnot. Now that I think about it. Which I'm glad Funky Kong's here. It's not really a pick for me because I don't like any of the Kongs besides Diddy. But also he's very funny, and I like the memes. So yeah, put him in. It's fun to have him. So yeah, I'm very positive on the characters overall. Like they made the right picks. I feel Wiggler was a great surprise. I got all I could ask for, really. The only thing I didn't get was where are the Toad colours? Where's a red Shell Cooper? That I just wanted different colours from because you see all the different coloured Toads in like every Booster Course Pass track. Like, why can't I play as them? It doesn't really matter, but I don't know why you don't have the colours for Toad yet. You have them for Birdo, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I just wish Toad got his colours. And it's not as I was hoping they'd add, probably, because it's probably not that hard to implement, but they never put it in. Which, by the way, Nintendo, they have confirmed that this is the last content update. There might be like another patch update or whatnot, but this is presumably it. And if there's no patch update, it's probably for bug fixes. I can't imagine they will do balancing changes, which this already has some more balancing changes. It's to do with invincibility frame, so it's nothing crazy. I don't think it will impact the meta at all, which the meta is pretty loose, but the main thing is like the Yoshi weight class, which Peachette is now a part of, so you have 5 characters in that weight class. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Also the select screen, because they moved the Inklings and the villagers into one slot each, which is a good move because the boy and girl villagers, they're just called villager each, which is very confusing. So I like they condensed that, and it makes a lot more sense than like throwing in 2 Mario clones into Mario or whatever. But yeah, now like the one you last selected will be the version that shows up on the main select screen, which includes like the alt colors for like Shy Guy, Yoshi, and Toad. Not Toad, fucking Birdo. So that's all cool. I like that. The roster feels very complete. It's a fantastic roster. What else? Oh, they have they did this last wave. They've continued to reduce the amount of 200cc and mirror tracks. They've lowered the chances of them showing up in like the regular public online matches. I don't know why, because it was questionable when they first did it, and they've done it again. I don't know by how much, but they weren't common before. Like, I prefer 150cc regardless. Like, it's not a big deal to me, but I that's a very pointless change. Other than that, I have no real complaints. Even then, that's not much of a complaint. It's just more of a what's the point question. So yeah, getting onto the tracks, I just feel like I covered that. And yeah, it's the version of the game from the update is version 3.0. So that feels like a very conclusive number because it was like 1.5 point something, and now they've just bumped it to 3. So it does seem like it's finally over. You have a credit screen now, which we didn't have before, and it even ends with like a photo of like all the characters together and a little thank you message, like basically every other game before Mario Kart 8. So I'm glad it finally got it. I got fucking emotional when that happened at fucking 2 a.m. and I got credits rolling. Like, that was very cool. But yeah, the tracks. Now, normally what I do when I'd update the tier list, I'd look at the picks we've already gotten and I'd see if I still agree with their placement. I'm going to do that at the end of this one just because we have all the tracks. So when I rank the Wave 6 tracks, we can now look at the whole list of all 48 courses. So yeah. Which yeah, this is a different list from before. Shout out to Dog Dude, a bunch of numbers. For this list, because it's actually complete. it doesn't have, it has like a random screenshot of like each track, which is kind of neat. We gotta change the scenery, I guess, for this video. So yeah, wave 6, we're gonna go in order. Start with the Acorn Cup. Romazante. Now, this is what I expected. I expected it to be another city course. It's good, but it does nothing to stand out from the other 13 we have in the game. It has some things that I really like. I like the Colosseum bit, but it's nothing crazy. You just kind of go up a level. And then you come back to it on lap 3, and there's like chain chomps buying into like the road, and you can like trick off the bits of metal they've ripped up. And that jump scared me at one point when they like lunged in to buy it. So I think that's cool. But outside of that landmark, it is just the streets of Rome. There is no like pretty change. It is just a city course. So thematically, I'm not interested. Again, I'm not a geography guy. I don't care about these places in the real world. I think I think how they're done in game, they're still pretty cool. There's some stuff I recognise regardless, of course. They look good. Like, this is probably graphically the best city course we have in the game. This one looks real good. The nighttime city courses always look fantastic. But yeah, it's it's just kind of nothing crazy. It's solid, but it doesn't need any more than that, really. But it does, especially when the 6 waves in it, really does highlight how there's quite an abundance of city tracks, and it makes sense why. I talked about this the other day when I talked about the picks. So the DLC had us 14 city courses, and that's a lot. But obviously, putting all the tall ones, it makes sense. But yeah, they do blend in. They all play differently. They've all got different gimmicks. So this one's like they're not the moles, but they have like the little goggles on. There's something else. Like, I forgot the name, but it's pretty cool to have them. And then you have like the fuzzies when you're on this glider section, and they're going around this ring. I like that they included them because they're in Pipeline, and Pipeline's not in the game. So cool that the fuzzy enemies got into a track. That's some cool representation. And the layout's pretty cool. It's quite confusing at first, but same can be said for all cities, so I won't really dock points from it. It's just because you keep coming through like this one crossway after going past the finish line. And so you'll basically always pass by other races, although that might be because I was playing against CPU. And I did it a couple times as well. So that's a bit mental. And there's like a cool little shortcut with like some like stone ruin thing. I don't know how to describe it, but that's pretty neat. It does some neat stuff here. There's some distinct stuff. But overall, you are just driving through some very pretty looking streets. But again, it does nothing that I haven't seen other city tracks do. Outside of like the Colosseum section and the one glider bit with the fuzzies and the mole things, because those are 2 new enemy types on any other track. So those are the most standout bits. Everything else just kind of blends in. But again, you're changing laps. You know, there's lots of turns. There's lots going on. They always make for good racetracks. But I think, when I said this was solid, I don't think it goes in solid tier. You know, I think it's above these for sure. I think it's above London Loop. You could probably move some more down to solid if needed. Again, that's something to discuss at the end. We got our cities here, and I think it's down here. It's above Bangkok, it's above Berlin. Do I prefer the Merry I probably do. Merry Mountain's a much better theme, but that is one of the simpler tracks. Sky Sunday, I prefer Sky Sunday. I'm going to leave it there for now. I don't think it goes any higher, but it is a great city track. It's so, it's the best. I just want to put it at the top with these two. Actually, No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Moving on, we have DK Mountain, the last Double Dash track. They got robbed of a fourth track, unfortunately. I don't know why. Because one of the slots went to Daisy Circle of all things, and I'll get into that track because it hasn't earned its place in this DLC, but we'll talk to it about it. Also, I don't know why it's third in the cup. It's a trickier layout, it's a more complex layout than DK Man, but DK Man should definitely be third. Not a big deal though, of course. But yeah, that's why I look at DK Mountain first. And that's a tour image, I think, because the face on the mountain has like lava coming from it. I think it's like carved out the mouth of the mountain. I don't know. But it looks very cool. This graphically looks fantastic. I'd really be like the tour thing where when you go down a mountain, like the background is so plain, but no, they threw in other volcanoes and stuff. I think there's even like the double dash pterodactyls coming on. Those might just be distant birds, but they had a pterodactyl looking shape when I quickly drove past them. So maybe there's some dinosaurs here. Maybe there's a hidden Noshi. I don't know. I don't think there is. It would have been cool if they threw in a Noshi though, in the background or something. Because there's no Dino Jungle, but Noshi's the main appeal of that. Just chuck him in somewhere else. Come on. Where's my Noshi? Add Noshi to the roster, Nintendo. But yeah, this one's cool. The cannon's awesome. Of course, it's now like you have to glide out when you do it, but it's a cannon. You don't really control your movement much. And you go down. And they took out the stupid Wii ramps. I'm very happy with that. It's gone back to just being like the mountain. And like they have like arrows like it's a ramp, but it's also stone, so it's like part of the mountain. It's just better theming. And yeah, it's just better because it's a rocky mountain, so you're tricking down the mountain instead of just being ramps on top that you can trick off of. Like, we very much missed the point there. One thing that stayed from the Wii version, which I'm happy with, is the half pipes. I love the half pipes in this game. They're very fun to trick off of. And there's a pair of them. And it's before you do this like snake turn, and people thought this shortcut wouldn't be in because there's new railings in the way, but it is. The little gap cut, which is a very small one. It's not as crazy as other ones like Mushroom Gorge or DK Summit. It's like you can do it shroomless. At least in other games. It was very easy to do. Here it is more difficult. You can still do it without a mushroom, but ideally you want a mushroom because the elevation on the platform that you're driving off of is a bit higher, so you can clear the railings basically. But the railings are there because it means you can't just easily just drop down there. Like, it's a very clever addition. And it's like intentionally there because there's also railings on the one you drive off of, but like they're like broken apart for where you do the jump, which is cool attention to detail. And then the bridge is like rickety and like you can trick off the ripples from it. It's DK Mountain. It is a perfect rendition of DK Mountain. It keeps everything you want. It doesn't really change anything. Graphically, it's at its best. It's a very faithful remake to an iconic fan favorite track. It's very fun to race. Probably my favorite in this, other known as Piranha Plant Cove. It's my second favorite in Cup at least. It's above Waluigi saying. It's at the very least at the top of great, and it might be in the best. I will consider it because I feel like the stuff that I want to move. Because I probably want to move Waluigi Stadium because I don't think it's great on a lot of the ones it's above. Next is Daisy Circuit. It's a circuit. Okay, so Daisy Circuit, thematically one of the best circuit tracks. It's a good layout as well. There's a lot going on. It's the Star Cup circuit track, and we got the Star Cup circuit track from DS. So there's usually a lot more going on with the layouts and stuff, and that's true. But at the end of the day, it's sort of circuit track. And since Mario Circuit, DS Mario Circuit got added, I've kind of grown out of just seeing the circuit tracks as like inherently like inferior tracks, because they're not. They can be very fun. But this is one devoid of any shortcuts or anything, which is usually like a big appeal of circuit tracks, to me at least, is the amount of like shortcuts you can do, focusing on the racing. And this has a nice little town theme. It's very standout. You have like the paths you can drive up, and you can use them to like avoid red shells and stuff. But other than that, there's not much point to them because you can't even trick off the ramps or anything. I like what they did to the one shortcut though, the one where you go up the stairs. They added the cardboard cutout thing. I don't know why, because it's off-road anyway. So you need a mushroom regardless. So the cardboard cutout thing, I keep saying cardboard. It's wood, isn't it? It's like a wooden cutout of a piranha plant. It's pretty pointless. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. And then now when you come out, it's a glider. So I like how you incorporate a glider section. Other than that, it hasn't really changed. Graphically, it looks great. It's great visually. I like that they changed the path texture. It's the same one as they did for Sky Garden, I think. It looks a bit more polished here. But yeah, they changed like the grey tiles, the boring grey tiles from Tor, and added these other ones, which are nice. But yeah, outside the change, adding the glide ramp, it plays like the Wii version essentially, from what I can recall. It's not a very memorable track, admittedly, so I might be wrong, but I think it's right. I think it's good. I forgot to talk about the music. Rome's music I have nothing really to say about, but Digger Man's music, which it's very fitting theme, but it's not really one I thought sounded good. The remix here is very good. They have like some flutes that feels more like Yoshi Island theme than DK, but I like Yoshi Island music, so it's pretty good. Today's circuit remix here is okay. I might prefer the original, honestly, but it's still a bop. It's still a banging theme. But yeah, this might be one of the few I prefer the original, because I think it's more in your face, I guess. Yeah, it's what I expected. I don't know. Maybe I need to play it more, but it didn't. I thought, okay, it's a questionable pick, right? I'm not ranking it based on the fact that it doesn't make sense to pick. They gave up a double dash track for this, which doesn't make sense. An 11th Wii track, like that doesn't make sense. That's dumb. But I'm not holding it to that in this ranking. I feel like I clarify that. Just in general, it is a circuit track. It's one of the best. I think that's true. I think it's one of the best. But I don't think it has anything that makes it takes it to the next level, like the DS Mario Circuit remake, which changes a lot, adds a lot of elevation, has a ton of shortcuts, has some creative stuff like the Wiggler showing up. It has a unique thing with the piranha plants that spit fire from their pipes, which no piranha plant works that way. Here you don't really have that. Your unique thing is like the paths, which I don't actually like that much. I feel like the road should be wider or something, because probably a skill issue. It's probably why it's the third track actually, because it is quite tricky actually. Because I've learned to stay on the paths and also they can get in the way sometimes, I feel. Unlike the final turn, that is. And yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something, but I don't know what the point of the paths are really. There's boxes there, but it's not like if you go the path you get a double box, and everyone else gets singles. They don't do that, which I feel is a missed opportunity. Especially when it's quite hard to stay on the path. But overall, it is solid. I'd probably put it at the top of the solid tier. I think it deserves that. Because again, I like it, but it's nothing too crazy. It's got more going on in Toad Circuit and Mario Circuit 3, for sure. even though I probably like racing on these more, but like this has a good theme, and it does have some unique stuff. But yeah, it doesn't do much that's anything wild or anything. It definitely should have been in this DLC, but regardless, it's still a good track. I don't want to make it seem like I'm shitting on the track. I think it's fun. It might grow me if I race on it more, but I don't see how it would because it's quite simple. I'm not really missing anything, I don't think, with it. So yeah, I think it's solid. This is probably our last solid track unless I move some of these down, which I might. Some of these tracks, which I actually know, because they have a lot going on. Yeah, I think we'll keep it, but that's a discussion for later. Next we have Briarpan Cove, and this is the one nitro track that incorporates the Tour City mechanic of having different versions, and then like the laps change and you cross over bits, but each lap is a different section, and that's very cool. Thematically, this track's fantastic, and there's just too much to cover in full. But I like the music. I like all those piranha heads and stuff. I love an underwater track. I like the underwater stuff. It's always very cool. You got like clamshell and stuff in like the final lap. There's lots of stuff. There's so much to cover. I'm trying to remember it all. It is quite a ride. This is a very fitting cup ender, for sure. This is a great track, and once again, it's a nitro track that does not disappoint. These ones are bangers. I like the theme and everything, and there's just a lot of cool stuff going on. Lots of trick off, lots of things. There is so much. I don't know where to go. Like you have the sting. I think, oh my god, I forgot what they're called. But the thing in the top left of the image. There's one that like comes out and ground tries biting you, and there's one that just like flies above you. There's a lot of water guys as well, which I like tricking off them. They're always fun. Yeah, it's quite enjoyable. I don't think it has anything in particular that like pushes it above a Ninja Hideaway or a Squeaky Clean Sprint or Yoshi's Island, but it's definitely amongst the best. I think it does a lot, so much that I'm quite speechless on what to cover with it. It is worth the wait. Let me see. I put up Amsterdam. I put what happens. Again, it's like a city track, but with a very engaging theme. So let's just put it like that. Probably play above LA Laps, I think. Daisy Cruiser be on the simple side, but I really like Daisy Cruiser. It probably deserves to be above it, but we'll leave it there for now. And that's it for the Acorn Cup. The Acorn Cup overall, it's a solid cup. The order's a bit questionable with Digimon coming before Daisy Circuit, but I like all the tracks, which, I like every track in this game, so that's not a surprise. But, Piranha Cove is a real standout. DK Man's just a fan favourite pick in this cup, and yeah, Daisy Circuit's alright. So now the Spiny Cup is really good. It's really good, and it has Rainbow Road. And I originally wasn't excited for Rainbow Road. It told us right. Okay, we'll get to Rainbow Road. Madrid Drive, generic name aside, this is a very, very good city track. They probably saved the best till last. I don't know if that's recency bias, but it's got a lot going on. It has 3 different like music variants, which is nuts. There's so much going on. Like, you have like this town square thing, and there's a sleeping Wiggler, and then a Wiggler wakes up on the second lap, like with Mario Circuit. The DS one, and I always need to clarify that because there's 4 Mario Circuits in this game. Um, I like the glider bit you see there, and you got the geysers that just kind of shoot out and spray you. But yeah, you have like an art gallery, and it's got like all these like images, like some of like that tour art from Tour itself, the game, which I think is quite neat. I think that's a very neat touch. And they have this art of like piranha plant paintings, and one's an actual piranha plant that's broken through the frame, which is very funny. There's even like a bit of like a shopping centre thing. You kind of go for like a mall for like a U-turn, which Coconut Mall. Like you have a mall in your track now, that gives you a lot of points. There's just a lot. It's a city track that isn't just driving through the streets, which are the best ones. It focuses on just various like landmarks and various different buildings, making it more than just a city track. Because of course all of good layouts, because the layout changes each lap, is fucking wild. But it's city tracks like Madrid here that take you to the next level. I think this is a very good city track. It does a lot to deserve being in the best tier. And I think I am going to put it there. I think I'll keep it behind Piranha Cove. But it's very good. I don't think LA Laps could be topped. But I think it's just about been topped. I think. Rosie and his Iceville. I really like this track. This is a perfect remake. This is Bowser's Castle 3 and most anticipated courses. Because I didn't think we'd get another 3DS track. And I always wanted it because I think 3DS has a very underrated Nitro track selection. And I wanted more from it. So now we have half the Nitro tracks from 7 in 8 Deluxe, which is very cool. I like that. And yeah, it delivered. This track really did deliver. I think this absolutely will get it some much deserved new fans, because this is fantastic. It doesn't change much because what is there to change, but it adds some significant stuff. So there's half pipes now. This is the first Mario Kart 7 track to have half pipes, and it's like right before you go to like the probably most iconic bit of the track, besides the starting bit, is the area where you have the underwater section, you have the ice on top, and you want to try and get to the ice bit. That like breaks off more and more with each lap, so it's hard to get onto it. And like the half pipes, use that to build up speed to help get over to it. And even on the sides, there's like off-road snow that you can land on and like mushroom through. There's a lot of options there. And of course you have the underwater bit, which looks fantastic. I love the penguins. They show up on like the main bit, which I think they were only underwater before. And they'll like slide on the ice, get in your way, which is very fun. But we skid a bit because before you get to that little ice cave with the half pipes, which I'm very shocked they added that. That was a very neat touch I hadn't considered. You have like this one curve, but you could add a half pipe in of itself, but you'd probably fall off. So that's probably why I didn't do it. And you can install the shortcut from 7 where you like drift and you get to like the tip. So you skip the curve, you go over the gap. The Rosina Iceville gap cut. I don't think you can do it very well. Might be a skill issue, but you normally only pass like half of it. And you normally end up on the top of the slope, which doesn't count as out of bounds, surprisingly. You can actually drive a decent bit on the off-road. So I suppose you land on there and just mushroom down into the cave. That's probably faster. So yeah, there's stuff there. I don't know how optimal it is, but it's fun to mess around with stuff like that. But yeah, you get through the ice bit and you're into the other ice cave, and it has the split path where you have the faster one with the boost panels, but it's actually quite tricky, especially on 200cc. And you still have like the little icicle obstacles, which is a nice touch. And at the end, before the final turn to the finish line, which they showed us in the trailer, but I just thought they added a ramp on the normal turn. I hadn't realised that they actually added, because there's a gap, there is a big gap in the 7 version. They filled in that gap with a little off-road platform with a ramp so you can cut the corner, which is a great addition. So between now and the half-lights, you've perfected this track. You've added whatever it was missing, and it wasn't missing much. Graphically, it looks fantastic as well. The theming's always been good. I don't know if I'll criticize it for it's just an ice track beyond the starting bit, and the bit with the underwater thing and the ice on. What people do realize that is like over half the track, right? Like, yeah, you have these two ice cave bits which don't really convey much of a Rosalina or a Galaxy theme, but so what? People don't. You don't see many people point out how, like, Luigi's Mansion, the DS one, you're in the mansion for like 10 fucking seconds, and then you're just in a generic forest for the rest of it. You know, like, I really don't think it's a valid take. I think it's thematically it's great. The music is so good. It might be like top 10 best Mario Kart music. It is such a good theme. This has bumped it from like great track to being in the best. I really think this delivered. I'm putting it very high up. This is my favorite track of the wave, I think. Rockwork Man. I think it's beside this little 3DS counterpart here. I think it does a lot. I think it gets to go above Shroom Ridge. Do I like more of an Alpine Pass? Because Alpine Pass is unique in a sense that you have the big glider sections and stuff, and I have a lot of fun with all the shortcuts and stuff. So I don't know. It might be recency bias, but I think Rosalina Icefield has topped it for me. We'll come back to it, but it is very up here for me. Again, like call it 3DS bias, I don't care. I think the 3DS tracks besides Toad Circuit, they're all bangers. And I like Toad Circuit, I just can't justify giving it a higher placement than here, really. SNES Powers Castle 3. One of the most perfect picks for the DLC. It is we get our 2D retro Bowser Castle, and also it feels like a 3D one. So you get the best of both worlds in one Bowser Castle retro. Because we needed another Bowser Castle track, especially when we're getting a fifth Rainbow Road simultaneously. So we needed another Bowser Castle, and I don't think they could have made a better pick. This one's fantastic. There's just so much going on. The music slaps. It's very intense. So you start a race, and there's already anti-grav, which you activate going between these two like lava waterfalls, which spit fire between them, which I thought would be an obstacle, but I'm 90% sure that they can't hit you. Not a big deal, that's just a bit odd. Also, Madrid has a, because you go for a stadium, I didn't even mention the stadium. Madrid has like so many cool bits, but I was saying where little Gumbas are in like shoes and they're kicking the balls to each other. If you get hit by the ball, it doesn't actually hurt you, I don't think. You just knock it aside. I think, at least. Which is quite strange. That very clearly should be an obstacle, but again, not really a big deal. Just questionable, really. And then you have like the bit where there's like various paths as you go up, because it's an anti-grav bit, so it's like sloped upwards. And there's one with an iron box, and there's like a lava geyser. There's lots in the background, but this one can actually get you because it's in the middle between these grates, and it shoots up. But if you dare to go for that way, you get an extra item. So that's a clever little addition. They took out a boot dash pass for that bit, and I think that's just because of how fast the section goes, which fair enough. You do a U-turn, and now you're on like the top of the walls of the castle, I guess. And there's a bunch of thwomps, and there's a lot of off-road bit with that like weird dirt thing. So if you got a mushroom from that previous box, then yeah, you get a shortcut what no one else does. And then you do another turn, and this is the bit with the walls, which is probably the most special bit. And it's very hard to do than the bridge thing, getting on the sides of the wall. So you have 3 areas in the walls, and each like a different little separate road you can go down. Or you can just go on the walls, and you get to go faster because it's dash panels, and at the end you get items. So there's a lot of reward for doing that, and it's quite hard to get up there, especially when it's a turn. So you're kind of turning in, trying to get onto this thin wall. It's very fun. and you go around. There's like some bone piranha plants from like Bone Dry Dunes, which is a nice little touch. And there's even an off-road bit where one's nearby. So that's a nice little shortcut. And there's the farms for coins, which we saw in the trailer. And I think we thought there'd be a glider section somehow, but actually the farms are on a layer beneath you and they rise up, so you can actually drive on top of them and get the coins, which is very neat. They didn't have to do that. It's more just because it's cool, more than actually being that useful. But yeah, you do that, and then the finish line's right there. It is very good. Like, Jesus, this is such a good track. I think it goes up high. It does. It's just fantastic, right? Just having it. It's a great pick. I think it probably gets to the best here. I'd say it's merely a bit lower down, but it's very cool, and graphically it's one of the best looking tracks in the whole game. I'd probably put it like above Coconut Mall at least. I put it above Daisy Cruiser. I would. Because Daisy Cruiser, I really like it. It's just such a fun theme, but this is also a fun theme. It has a bunch of shortcuts, and it has a bunch of pathways and stuff. It's so crazy. It might even go higher, but I think we'll leave it there for now. Next is Wee Rainbow Road, and oh my god, okay. First, the music slaps, but that wasn't what surprised me. My friend is how good this track is. This is a track that I was saying we don't need, and I still agree with that. I don't think we needed this. We have 4 other Rainbow Roads. We don't really need a 5th, but we got the 5th one, and I thought it won't stand out. It very much does. It stands out. It's probably the longest track in the game as well. It is. I'm not enough. I wasn't even a fan of this track until this version. It is a very fitting end to this DLC, this game. Because it's not just this DLC. It is this game that we've known existed for 10 years. It's been out for over 9. And this is the last bit of content it will ever get. Which is fucking crazy. Like, when you think about how long this game has gone on for. Of course, I mean, just a couple of years ago, I think many of us thought it would get more stuff, especially not this much stuff. And it did. And now at the end, the content again. And it's just crazy how much we've gotten over the years. And we're finally at the last bit. And this is a very good final track. What I think, you could have more variety in another pick. I'm not going to complain about this pick anymore. This is just a fantastic track. It delivers. It earns its place in the DLC. It's very good. It's difficult. It's very tricky still. But it's so great. It's the same as the Wii one, but better graphics. And yeah, I don't think much has changed other than how it plays differently because it's a Deluxe. Not much has changed. They even kept the where you're like crashing to earth, you turn into like a meteor when you fall off the track. They managed to keep that in, even though they changed how how in this game the key picks you up so you don't fall to your death and then it cuts to black. They still managed to include it, which I'm shocked how they managed to include that detail. When it's just a lot of like cute details like that just get lost with time, and it's not really a big deal. But when stuff like this is kept around, it's quite special. It's not even a detail many remember. I don't really remember it until I checked the Wii version. I saw gameplay with it like last week to remind myself of it. That's when I remembered it existed. But this is a track I had in like the Wii version in like my overall tier list, which is kind of based on, although loosely. I say that just because if you compared it to the original, like the tier list of all the other tracks, there's some picks that probably don't make sense. They probably don't line up because I might have a version of this track that isn't very different to another That's a very different tier. And I mean, Wii Railroad is probably going to be another case of that. But I just think in general, it benefits from being in 8 Deluxe more than Wii, because it doesn't feel like a bullshit track anymore. It feels like a very special, tricky, but enjoyable track. Great theming. I like all the half pipes and stuff. I like all the shortcuts with the low gravity. You can like swap between the split paths, like the Wii U Nitro Railroad in this game. Which I mean, this one thematically is a lot cooler. At least it's more vibrant. I like that because colours. But I still think the Wii U Railroad is probably a better track. I think that's like the second best Rainbow Road overall, behind 7. This is pretty good though. This is definitely in the top 3 of this game at least. If they threw in, if GCN Double Dash is in it. GCN Double Dash, that's the same thing. Double Dash is Rainbow Road, if that was in this game, then I preferred that over this one. But yeah, this is a very special track. I cannot deny it. I'm gonna put it top of grade 2. Again, it's not really for me, so I'm not gonna put in the best. But I cannot deny it. I have to give it like a top tier here, for sure. And that's it. That is all 48 tracks compacted in 3 tiers, because the quality is just so consistent that, I can't really give it less. More, I can't give it more tiers, because I think everything's solid at least. Like, these are the simple but still good tracks. Then these are just very good, and then these are just like amazing. Some of my favorite tracks in the entire franchise. So let's break down what we have. So starting with the best, we have Yoshi Island at the top. I think that stays there. I think it's my favorite track in the entire franchise. I love Yoshi. I love Yoshi's Island. It's one of the most timeless games. Like the SNES retro thing. The only game from that collection I play on the Switch is the Yoshi's Island, because it's just such a good game. I have a lot of sense for playing the DS one. Crash was also good, but that's kind of a separate thing. It's just such a good theming. There's so much going on, and it's more than just theming. It's got a great layout. It has a bunch of shortcuts. It has so many iconic details. The cloud that makes the bridge, that's just such an engaging thing. The fact that there's like 5, like so many biomes, right? You have like this like puffy, like, I don't even know what you call it, but like the orange fields are in the Ocean game. Then you go into like an underwater bit. Then you just go into a cave that leads into like this snow biome. And then there's a glider into the clouds, and then you glide back down. Like that's 4 different track themes crammed together. It is the best track, I think. And it's even top 3 S Rainbow, which I think thematically is very good. To race on, I think that's better. I think Mushroom Gorge, DK Summit, Cuba Cape, so on, probably top it. But they're just all so good at this level that I don't think I want to trade slots with it, because it's something that, depending on my mood, I will just swap these around, right? Because here we have a group of 3 fantastic Wii tracks. And Cuba Cape's actually back, even though it's my favourite Wii track, because I think the remake has some stuff I actually criticised, which I'm usually not very critical of this DLC. But I think some stuff this remake did was quite dumb. Where's the Koopa sign? We have the underwater thing with the half-pipe, which I like. I prefer that to the Zappers. I think the Zappers are overrated. But you don't jump out the water, which was the whole, visual appeal. It's visual complaints more than anything. I think the gameplay is probably the best it's played. So it still gets to be in the top 5, but yeah. Whereas DK Summit and Mushroom Gorge are just perfect remakes. DK Summit wasn't even one I liked that much from the Wii, but it's just fantastic in 8 Deluxe with all the half pipes, all the shortcuts. It's just very cool. Rock Mountain, Rosie's Iceboard. I love them. A lot of nostalgia for 3DS. I think that's the best Nitro tracks. Before we got like the DLC Nitro tracks, if you can even count them as that, in a Deluxe. The question is which goes first. And again, this is probably one that just depends on my mood. And I don't know if it's recent bias, but I think I will put Rosin's Iceberg ahead. I think I will. It's fantastic. It wasn't even like amongst my favorite 3DS tracks. This is probably lower down on my list. You know, I like the Woohoo tracks more. I like Shia Bazaar more in 79s. But there's just something about the 8 Deluxe version that is so good. It is a perfected remake, and they did a lot to it. Like, yeah, it's only the half pipe. Like besides visual stuff, it's really only the half pipes and the new shortcut. But those are some significant features of the track that just add even more to its appeal. So I think this is elite. Shroom Ridge. It's just so fun. It is so basic. It should not be this high. But it is so fun. The traffic doesn't even go the right way on this one. They both go the same way. Whereas other tracks, you know, that's not the case. The original Shroom Ridge, they went the right way. Even in Tour, they go the right way. But also, I think it plays better when they go in the same way. I don't know how to explain it, but, you know, you're weaving between the cars. It's just better when it's not two directions. So I think it helps the gameplay, even though it doesn't make a sliver of sense. I like the moving item boxes. You've got the glider. Like I think, again, it's like Rosin's Iceberg, but they added like a couple shortcut things that just add a lot to this track. So yeah, Snowland, GBA Snowland is so damn good. It's so good. The shortcuts, you know, like this is probably the biggest globe any track's ever gone. You know, no one even talked about it, but in Tour was a surprise announcement in Wave 2. This one really delivered. It actually deserves to be in top 10. I think I'm going to put it above Shroom Ridge. I'm going to put it above it. I think this really delivered. This is definitely the best GBA track. Even better than Cheese on the River Road from the base game. I love the theming. It has like probably my favourite shortcut, going over that gap thing. And then you also have the shortcut with the ramp, then you jump over the bridge. It is just a fantastic one. Katamari Desert, you know, you drive on the tracks with a train. Enough said. Three Kings Rin is, again, fantastic theming. Same for Ninja Hideaway. Yeah, those night tracks are just so good. Maple Treeway, it's Maple Treeway. It's just a great track. It's great. I wouldn't put it above these three as my favorite of the Wii tracks, but it gets its flowers. It doesn't change anything at all. Actually, no. It's a combination of 7 and Wii, because it has the Wii half pipe and it has the glider from 7, which I actually prefer the glider. So, yeah, no complaints here. Bowser Castle 3, just chef's kisses. It is very good for the reason I said. Would I put it any higher? I don't know. I think Maple Tree I probably prefer. I think that's what Daisy Cruiser, which is no simple track, but I think it's got some of the best theming. It doesn't actually have any shortcuts, but it's like split paths and stuff. So, yeah, I'm a fan. Frying Cove is the best use of the lap changing thing, I feel. It just makes it feel so vast. There's just so much going on in the track, and it's very cool to have a Mario themed track that uses the Tour City gimmick, because I think that's a great gimmick. So it's very cool to have a track that does that. Then you have some city tracks, which, again, the city tracks aren't really my thing. They're not really my thing, admittedly. And also we have Coconut Mall sandwiched in by chance, because I don't really have a feeling, but they do a great job. And these four especially, I think are just fantastic examples. Like just so much effort goes into the Tour Cities that I gotta put some in the best. You know, they're lower down because they're less so my style, but you can't deny how genuinely quality they are. The great tracks, this is where stuff I think will move more. Does the game out go into the best? There's an argument for it. It has shortcuts, it's iconic. I yes, I think it does. I think it does because I love gap cuts. Um, it's part of that. It's like a I don't know. I think because I'm just looking at competitive sea tracks. I prefer dance. I prefer to Athens. Do I prefer to coconut more? I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to give it the best here. I'm not going to push it much though. I think it's safe to put it here. I think. Blind coconut. I don't think it gets there. I think I'm thinking of other tracks here. I think it is just beyond the tier with them. When you remember road, I could slap it in, but I think this is a good separator. I think it should be a top grade. Why are we just saying? Why are you saying it pisses me off? Again, it's one that has stuff design choices I don't like, and this one, unlike it affects the gameplay. And that's probably one thing keeping it from being the best. Because the long section, was just a straightaway. They had half pipes in the Wii, so there's more going on there. But also, just in the original version, you had those brown and band cutouts that were coming at you, which look cool in this game. But there's only one that works normally. There are two that just shoot up into the air for some reason. Again, it's one of those weird things, and it's probably the biggest case with this DLC of just how they have some stuff that should clearly be obstacles, but they just made them cosmetic. Like in this wave, I talked about how you got the footballs in Madrid Drive or the lava balls in Bad Cats 3. They're not big deals. They don't really change the experience much, but they should clearly be obstacles. Here it does because it's a straightaway and it just becomes really boring. And half-pipes, I don't think it works well here as in DK Summit. This is the one where I like the gimmick of having the half-pipes boost you onto an extra level that you can, like these floating platforms that you can get up with half-pipes. But I don't know, they feel inherently slower. I feel like I keep losing on this track because I'm using the gimmicks and the gimmicks just aren't useful. I don't know. Also visually, it's not an issue for us. I remember when saw images and I thought this is the best looking track in the game. But also the mud textures is too realistic. Compared to the fact that everything else has still got that more cartoony vibe, which I prefer anyway. But it's the mud's really glossy and it looks more like a wood texture. So it looked better in the trailer, to say the least. None of the trailer was showing anything different, it's just the angle looked better, I guess. I'm gonna knock it down. Here I am. I don't know where to. Actually, because I think I'm gonna. Actually, that's what we should do. I'm gonna put them behind these C's here. I want to talk about what we're moving up. Because Peach Gardens, I think it goes above these two C's. These two are very good C's. I think they're high grade tier, unlike these ones. Because they have a lot going on. They show a lot. There's a lot of iconic areas. They don't have, well, for me at least, there's nothing that pushed it to the best for me personally. But Sydney Sprint and Singapore Speedway both very good indeed. Peach Gardens, just the fact that you go backwards, you go reverse. And that was an unused path in the DS version. So they just did it to go backwards. What a great touch. It's not they just slapped some random unfitting gimmick on. Again, it comes from an unused route on the DS version, which is just so clever. I think it's very cool. I don't like how the gazebo, you can't go around it anymore. I get it was pointless, but I feel like it could have gave it a purpose. I think there's some things like how the grass patches are laid out in a couple of the flower bed bits. They changed the layout to so you can't really shortcut through anymore. Those are my only two complaints. And again, the final lap of this track just immediately makes up for any details that I think are inferior to previous versions. So I think it gets to be high grade here. Choco Mountain, this one I really enjoy. I'm going to boost it up. I think this is a fantastic track. Another fantastic remix of the cave and stuff. the glider. You even have like a few off-road shortcuts in the cave and like before like the big hills going to the finish line. It's a very intense track. It's primary events. It's 4-1, and they did it justice here. I think we park it there though. I think with GBA tracks being down in the right place, I think Waluigi goes above them. Like said, park. It's like, oh, never very good. Mario Circuit's very good. Waluigi's theme is a great theme. The track layout isn't my favorite though. Yeah, I think this is more something I agree with. Sky Thunder, I think it's fun. Overhated. I like it. But it isn't on a tier of like Squeaking Sprint, Ninja Hideaway, Piranha Plant Cove, and of course Yoshi's Island. It only beats Merry Mountain for sure, and roams in the middle, which I'm fine with. But yeah, some of the save ones. Moonview. Yeah, I prefer Moonview to Vancouver and London. The question is why I move London and Vancouver down. Because, okay, Vancouver, no. I'm going to say no straight away just because you have that bridge, the anti-gravity bridge, which is very cool, but it's on the first lap, which doesn't seem right. I don't know how they do the layout so it wouldn't be like that, but it's weird. Else you go for like you have that ice hockey thing, which is very brief, like the Madrid run, but it's very cool. And you go for that twice, so I'll give it that. So yeah, Bangkok or Berlin actually? Because I have Berlin above Bangkok. I don't know if I agree with that. Actually, I do because Berlin's in traffic and that's cool. London Loop though, I think it's quite underrated. I mean, it has a lot of good shortcuts. I like the change on time to become on chain last stop. As a British person, I actually get all the landmarks for this one. So yeah, I'll keep it. Solid tracks. Paris I really do like. I really like it, but it's the simplest tour sequel. Simpler than Tokyo, actually. In terms of layout, not in terms of theming, because it is the same track for the first 2 laps, and then the last lap's just the reverse. Because you have like a different lane. So it's different to the other city tracks in the sense that like each lap it doesn't change, and it actually just goes backwards. Like it changes as much as Peach Gardens does. But I do enjoy it. Probably more so than Daisy Circuit. I think I'll put it up Daisy Circuit. But I'm not going to move it up a tier. I think it's its own. Because again, solid tracks, that's not bad. I like what these, they're just on the simpler side. Daisy Circuit should be your GBA tracks, I think that's right. Boo Lake is a pretty damn perfect remake. It's still nothing crazy, even though it has an anti-grav section, and I like the underwater stuff with a shortcut. It's still on the simpler side, I'd say. Sunset Wild, quite simple. Again, good shortcuts. Thematically, though, they took out the sunset. The music slaps, though. And the sunset hasn't come back in Wave 6, for anyone wondering. Which makes sense. If they could have added it, then they would have done so for Wave 5. It raises the question of why they pick it to begin with if you can't faithfully do the gimmick that's in the mobile game and it's the main thing people want. It doesn't bother me too much, but yeah, it does lose points for it, I guess. New York Mayor's definitely better than Tokyo Blur. And because for the chain lap gimmick alone, I think they go above Toad Circuit and Mario Circuit 3 because they're both quite simple. Toad Circuit in terms of layout, because it's a figure 8 essentially, and Mario Circuit 3, which has a good layout, but it's completely flat. You know, I think it goes to the bottom. Even though it's very fun to race on. That's the thing. All these are good tracks, which is why it's only 3 tiers. But I think we categorize it right. I think I am comfortable with settling on this list. Again, it could just switch depending on my mood. Because again, they're all so quality, so they come very close, a lot of them. Again, that's why it's only 3 tiers. So here you guys are. Here is the complete tier list. And I mean, that's it. You got the best, you have the great tracks, you have the solid tracks. All 48 tracks are in here. Notice how I think the best is more tracks than great, at least. Yeah, because it goes to a 4th row. Yeah, those are the best here. That's most tracks. which in my original, ranking all tracks, the best tier was used very sparingly. I just think this DLC is just so quality in terms of tracks, how fun they are, and the theming and all that. But so many do rightfully deserve to be on this tier. I obviously have many great ones, and the solid ones are just too similar to put any higher, regardless of my enjoyment of them. So yeah, this is it. This is, I think, by far the best DLC of all time. Definitely the best value I've seen. It has been fantastic. I think, the hype for each wave, and you make all the predictions, which got tiring, especially when they were all very similar. Which, I'm fucking guilty of it too, because I've made like 10 prediction videos, and that's not an exaggeration. But I think it's just the hype for it. I am very happy to be part of it. It's been fun. Get ready for it, because I'm sure I'm not the only one doing tier lists for all the tracks. But yeah, get ready for that. And I gave my little review there. Just a great DLC. Just great. I think everything is good. I was a fan from Wave 1. I know a lot of people act like that wave is bad, because all graphics bad. But I prefer the tour art style, because I think it looks more Mario-y, if that makes sense, because it's more cartoonish. So not an issue. Of course, I can notice there's a clear quality upgrade in terms of graphics for later waves. They clearly put more into making them distinct from the tour variants. But regardless, I think they all look good. So graphics was never an issue with me. I think in terms of gameplay, they all play very well. This is by far the greatest Mario Kart game. It has the best roster, has the best track selection, it has the best battle tracks. It doesn't have the most, because we actually has 2 more battle tracks. So it would have been nice if it cut an extra 2 battle tracks, just so it could have the biggest one, or the joint biggest one. But it doesn't really matter. The battle mode has enough battle options itself to give that variety. So yeah, I'm very satisfied with the game ending in this state. Like, yeah, we didn't get everything, of course not. There's so much to cover. We didn't get certain picks like Airship Fortress. That's the main one. That's like the omission of is quite a head scratcher, admittedly. Especially when Mario Circuit got in. And honestly, Mario Circuit's probably more fun. I really like the Mario Circuit remake, so I'm not going to complain. But it is questionable. So still some questionable picks, but overall, it's 48 tracks and 48 bangers here. I could not ask for anything more, really, because it's just so good. And then the Mii suits, I keep going on that. You get so many Mii suits as well. You get 17 Mii suits. You get 8 characters. One of them is 9 colors. Pauline and Peach have 2 costumes because they have the biker outfits. And then you have all these tracks. Just such a good value. And this is pretty much the ultimate Mario Kart, because there were it had more content than anything else before this DLC, and then they threw it in, and this game's just on another level. I'm very happy to have the final selection. It's a bit sad to see it go. There's no waiting for the waves, but also that's good. I think that's good, because hey, here's the complete game. We know what we have, and it's time to properly enjoy it. Because we have enough content to keep playing this for however long. I imagine the next thing the Mario Kart team's going to be working on, because they stopped Tour. They stopped the DLC, because they've been very busy, We're on a mobile game, and then on top of that, you've got the same team making these essential ports, but clearly a lot of effort still goes into them to bring them to the console game. And both of that has just ended within a couple of months between each other. So they're probably getting a break, I'd imagine, which they deserve, because this is fucking crazy amount of content they've thrown in. But I imagine the next thing is the next Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 9, probably Mario Kart 10 or X, because we love throwing in that Roman numeral because X is cool. I imagine they want to do that because it's been so long since we got another main Mario Kart game, so they'll probably just count Tour as the 9th one, which I wouldn't have an issue with, considering how much it's impacted this boost course pass. It feels like a game of its own, right? That's the content of one. You know, we doubled our track selection and got a bunch of characters on top of it. But yeah, I think they did a lot of good balancing changes as well to make the meta good. Of course, there's still a meta going on. There's still an optimal build, but as long as you have stats, varying stats, which you should have, I feel, there's always going to be that preferred combination. No matter how close, how balanced you make the game, there is going to be that. That can't be stopped. It's just now we have a lot more options, and the meta option is much better because there's like 5 characters of that meta character group. And running a combo that isn't a hideous fucking Wallow-Wiggler amalgamation. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the state of the game. I never got successful. I know people want like 96 races. Yeah, because 96 tracks overall. 96 tracks. For like the versus mode to do 96 in a row. They didn't add that. I feel like they should have. Because it probably wasn't easy to do. But I don't care. I'm not going to do that many tracks in one sitting, but I get why people wanted it. Just do the 48 tracks, one for the base game and one for the DLC, and I just score up, guys. Like, not the end of the world if you don't have that. Also, we had the music player in this update, which you only play it on the menu. You can't have it like replace the background menu, which is what I expected. But it's a neat thing to have. I'm just not really going to use it because Nintendo, for some reason, thinks people use Switches as like MP3 players, but don't. It's too big to do that with. But it's a neat thing to have and an easy way to check out the music and all the variants of it. So I like that. That's some good bonus content. And yeah, that's about it. This is probably my favourite game of all time, and it's over. And it went out with a bang here. I don't know how I'd rank the waves. Like, you asked me for too much, you wanted to rank the waves. Because I think even wave 1 might be a favourite of mine. I really couldn't rank them because they have some favourites. They have, not so favourite ones. Of course, we're going into the content because I think it's just been such a consistent level of quality for DLC. I'd probably say Wave 6 is the best because it has the most characters and costume stuff on top of it. Yeah. I think so. I mean, Wave 4 is my favourite track and my favourite character, Birdo and Yoshi's Island, so it's probably Wave 4, if you want to know what my favourite wave is. All the waves I like, though. I think they did a great job of it all. I cannot ask for anything more. Yeah, just great. I'm done dick sucking this game. I don't know what I'll do more videos. I don't know what next video to do. I'm not going to do speculation for the next Mario Kart because I don't care. I lower your expectations for whatever the next Mario Kart is, because that's presuming what they're doing, presuming for the next console, whenever that is. Because it's not topping this game. Not in content, at least. No chance. Might be better gameplay, sure. But, yeah, I think you need to keep that in mind going forward, that we're probably not getting this much content in a Mario Kart game ever. I can't imagine. But yeah, it's just so great to have like a game with all this content. So yeah, now we can enjoy it without all the fucking predictions and all the theories of, we're going to get more. We know that this is the last wave. We're not getting any more content, and I'm fine with that because we got more than enough. Said complete version of the game. We got it. Enjoy it, people, and I'll see you next video, whatever that is, whenever that will be. Bye.